story time. You see, Justin, your boyfriend here is a murderer. Charlotte Summers was my wife. And because of the official reports signed by your murdering lover were given to me by my new sister-in-law, I knew who to go after when the time was right. Ashley never wanted the ship her father left her. This thing belongs on the bottom. Like you. By sending my wife below, and she never came back. You were the one that should have died. Now, story time over. What do you think this is? Disney? Get off the ship, Justin. Later, he said as he waved the gun towards Justin's head. Reluctantly, Justin, with his sad and worried face, looked up at Eric as he climbed down the ladder one step at a time. You're doing great, babe. I'll see you again. Trust me. With a wink and a half smile. Eric was gone as Justin got into the raft, and Cassie unhooked the ladder, and they started to drift away from the ship as it continued to sail by. Chance holding on to Justin for comfort, occasionally telling him it would be okay, just sat there, not speaking, not knowing what to say. He was in a life raft that was now floating God knows where from a ship he was on for a cruise that was now being blown up and sunk. Oh, and the captain he fell in love with is now gone. Wow, what a trip, he thought to himself as tears started to well up in his eyes. It only took Cassie to see a single tear fall from his cheek that she spoke softly. I remember the first time I met Eric. I thought he was hired for housekeeping, as they asked me to pick him up at the airport. She giggled. I was so rude to him, yet he forgave me. Sweetie, don't worry. Eric is a strong leader and loves his ship. Well, I guess you as well. So, like Eric said, trust him. Justin just simply nodded in agreement. Now he was just wondering what could possibly be going on now. Will he make it off? Chance, I think I love him. I want to see him again. It kills me I was so close to having him get off the ship with us. We have a connection, so I know he feels the same way. So I do trust him, and I know for sure I'm going to see him at the end of all of this. Closing his eyes as he ended. Will I see him? It seemed like hours had gone by as the sun started to rise. Justin peeked out, and all he saw was water. No land, no nothing. Just the occasional dolphin swimming alongside the raft. Because of everything that happened, they were beat, exhausted, and they must have slept through the night. He heard Cassie stirring as she opened her eyes, looking at Justin for a moment, and then asked, Is it morning? I need to find the emergency kit. It has the flares in it. We need to find help, she said as she slowly crawled across to a pouch towards the front. Grabbing the flare gun, she unzipped a section of the cover and shot the flare up and into the air as it burst into a ball of red, slowly making its way towards the water. It had been 4 more hours and 3 flares before a helicopter could be heard in the distance. Chance, quickly hearing what Justin was hearing, jumped up and opened the top to reveal a Coast Guard helicopter hovering next to them, while a rescuer dropped into the ocean and swam over to the raft. The rescuer made it up onto the raft and removed his headpiece. Is anyone injured? He asked out loud, looking around and then realizing Chance was pointing to Cassie's leg. She will go first, then you two. Copy. 3 adults, 1 injured female. Roger, send it down. Okay, people, here we go, he said as the stretcher was lowered from the side door and down to grab Cassie. Justin, don't even think about it. Just do it. I'm last, Chance said as he stepped back as Justin was strapped in and was holding on to the guy for dear life as he was hoisted up into the air and into the helicopter. Didn't even blink, and it was done. Then Chance. That was everyone. Cassie had already been questioned, as she was in uniform. They told us that we had been way off course. Hard to find. No crap, buddy. What about the ship? Did you save the captain? He was still on board when we left. There was a man on board, and he took over the ship, and he wants the captain dead, and the ship sunk. He's crazy, Justin said in a panic, Chance gently giving his shoulder a squeeze. I'm sorry, sir. We're still looking for the ship. We already know of the situation, as passengers have already been spotted and picked up, he said as they flew over the sea and headed to Port-au-Prince. What's going on with the ship? Where is Eric? He thought as they touched down in a field next to the airport. More people surrounded them and as they stepped out of the helicopter, wrapping them in blankets and having a local EMT look them over. Justin and Chance were fine. However, they took Cassie to the local hospital. The Majestic Cruises Company offered full refunds and hotel stays, along with travel back. Justin agreed, however, with the condition until he has heard word about Eric, and without a no, they agreed. Justin and Chance would stay in the Fairfield and wait for the news, if there is any. Thank you for listening to Chapter 9. I'm so sorry about the mistakes. But there you go. It's authentic, people, okay? I don't edit anything. So, Chapter 10 is going to probably most likely be next week. I have so much to write. It's going to be a great ending with some humor in there as well. So, I don't know. What's happening to the ship? What happened to Eric? What's going on with Divine? Divine. I don't like you. So I'm asking everyone who's listening to this, if you can post somewheres, I don't care what platform you do it in. If you can leave a review about the podcast, that would be even better. But my question to you is, who is your favorite character in the book, if you have one, or who do you kind of like me reading? So I'm very curious, only because a couple of people have told me their favorites, but I want to know yours. So comment somewheres, and yeah, still do the review. It helps. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a good one.